If you're introverted, the thought of breaking into data analytics might feel intimidating. You might worry that this field secretly favors extroverts. After all, networking events are draining, team meetings might leave you feeling depleted, and the mere idea of presenting your work can trigger anxiety. But what if I told you the reality of working in data analytics is far from what you can imagine? Many aspiring analysts hold themselves back because they assume this job is super social, constantly talking to stakeholders, presenting their findings daily, and leading meetings. But there are plenty of roles where you can focus on deep work and have minimal social interaction and even work from home. So this video is a guide to navigating data analytics as an introvert. I'm Jeff, and I became a data analyst over 13 years ago, worked my way up to a business analyst consultant at a Fortune 4 company where I am today. And I know the job market is rough right now, but I'm on a mission to help 10,000 people break into data analytics by sharing weekly actionable insights that will get you hired. So if you're serious about landing your first data job, hit that subscribe button now because I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Now, let's dive in. During your interviews, the goal is to find out if that role is a good fit for you on how much social interaction you want. I'll talk about more what I've noticed in my own experience is there are specific data roles I've noticed would be better for introverts. If you love digging into data without the constant meetings, you would want to look for roles like maybe a backend data analyst, a reporting analyst, which when I first became a data analyst, I was more like a reporting analyst in the very beginning. So I had very minimal interactions. Also data engineers, they're focused heavily on coding and database management. So if you're okay with some team collaboration, but still prefer minimal stakeholder exposure, roles like these might be your sweet spot. Now let's move into some roles that require a little bit more team collaboration, but still prefer a little minimal stakeholder exposure. So roles like this would be a business intelligence analyst, a product data analyst, and an internal data analyst that supports internal teams rather than external clients. So again, depends on the company because I know business intelligence analysts that range from both sides, but just in my general experience, I found that they're more team collaboration, and as long as they're not on the client side, you'll have minimal stakeholder exposure. And then on the complete opposite, and if you're introverted, you might want to stay away from some of these roles if you want to completely limit your social exposure, because I've found that these roles have high social interaction. Data scientists, data science consultants, client-facing analysts, or any consultant roles that require heavy stakeholder interaction. Just know that I've found in my own experience that these have a lot heavier social interactions and might be a lot more draining for an introvert. There's additional good news for introverts because of the work from home possibilities. Since many introverts thrive remotely, it's worth noting that certain data roles have a higher chance of being fully remote. I'm currently in a fully remote role right now, especially those who are in reporting analytics, backend analysts, data engineers. These roles focus more on independent work, meaning there's fewer meetings and more flexibilities. A quick way to gauge how much social interaction is needed is by asking detailed questions during your interviews, like how often you're expected to present, the frequency of meetings, and how closely you're going to be working with stakeholders and what type of stakeholders they will be. The higher the level of stakeholders that you'll be interacting with, the more social interaction that you're going to be having, because when you get to higher and upper management, they are more engaged. They're going to be asking a lot more questions. They're also going to be questioning a lot of the different things that you do. So then you're going to be interacting with a lot of different people. So that is going to be one of the key drivers, at least in my experience, for seeing if it's going to require a lot of social interaction. I've talked about heavily in the past how networking is a shortcut to help you get a job faster, but I know as an introvert that networking can feel like a tall order and a lot of work. So what I'm going to go over is just some tips and advice for how to network as an introvert without the exhaustion, or how to reduce the exhaustion. So here are a few tips to do it for introverts. One is leverage online networking. You can limit your networking specifically to almost entirely online with only occasional calls or even none at all. This is something I've done. in parts of my life where I just didn't want to make calls. And even now, I'm not going to hop on a random call because I'm super busy. I've networked with people through LinkedIn or online communities that I've never met in person, and I've only seen them through Discord chat. And I've just had meetings and just constant exposure through them through these communities. And these are people that I would hop on a call, or if they were to DM me about a problem, I would help them work through a problem. So this is one way that you can network if you don't want to go through the tedious effort of meeting people in person. Two is maintain a website or online portfolio. Instead of constantly selling yourself in person, what you can do is let your online presence do the work for you. What you can do is build a blog. You can use Medium, have a personal website showcasing your projects, have a strong LinkedIn profile that where you have posts that demonstrate your expertise, and then you network with other people and you comment on their posts, and then you start to build this online presence. You can even start a YouTube channel where you interview data science experts, and then this will be a way for you to get in the door or get advice from experts that you would not have access to normally. That would be a way. And one way that I know some of my friends have when they were building an Instagram business, they got to reach millionaires, a lot of people who you wouldn't think would be available, but would be available just to be able to speak and showcase what they're working on and then get out their message. You'd be surprised at how many people are accessible as long as you were to try, and it doesn't hurt to try. So send out at least a message. If you have some value to give back to them, like you have a platform that you're building where they can also get out their message to more people, that would be one of the best ways to network with other people. And then three, this is another way to network with thought leaders. And this is one that I've seen work for my friends on X. One of the things that they do is they engage in thoughtful written engagement. What they'll do is they'll send either concise replies that are thoughtful and different, where you can tell that they actually put effort into crafting this message, where if you do it right after the post, you have a higher chance of that person looking at and responding to you. And then if you do this consistently, you'll be able to be on that person's radar. Leaving thoughtful comments on different industry posts, sending concise LinkedIn messages, engaging in relevant threads on Slack or Discord, depending on where you're meeting everybody. This allows you to start networking, start to give value and your own personal feedback and opinions into a conversation. You don't need to become an outgoing social butterfly, but you do need to work on your skills that allow you to communicate clearly and proactively, because there are going to be a lot of roles or different roles that you can just use and master clear, concise writing in emails or in reports or direct messages, rather than having to meet in person, especially working from home. Great writing is going to be an introvert superpower. And then you can also practice organizing your thoughts in bullets before speaking. You'll be able to have it on the side so that when you do have to speak, you can refer to somebody if you get nervous. You have ChatGPT and Copilot to help craft your messages so that you can get out a clear and concise message in the way that you want it to be perceived in the best way possible. In all of these different meetings, you can take it as exposure therapy, where you just do something that's just a little outside your comfort zone to start building confidence in meetings where you don't participate in. Maybe you just ask a simple question, you just make a comment, you actually participate when there's questions. Just start building the gradual confidence inside these different meetings, because that will translate into your social skills, especially when you're interviewing, when you're networking with people, so that you stand out, and then you can stand out in these interviews or be memorable to a hiring manager or other people. Reality is anyone can build these skills. I used to work with clients on confidence communications and professional relationship building, and I'll create more videos on exactly how to do this and make it easier. So let me know in the comments what social skills you'd like me to improve. And if you're ready to land a data job while avoiding roles that don't fit your introverted nature, your job search shouldn't just be limited to data analyst listings. There's going to be hidden job markets out there that can expand your options to roles that you didn't even know existed. So click here to watch my next video on how to tap into the hidden job market and find opportunities beyond data analyst title.